Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to Bible in a Year with Lovie. We're on day 97. We're reading the Life Application Study Bible, 3rd edition, New Living Translation, for anybody who's interested in following along and maybe is just now tuning in. Thank y'all for showing up, and thank you for all your likes, and thank you for subscribing, and thank you for sharing these videos. It ain't about me. It's all about God. Let's send this word forth. Let other people, if these videos are helping you, let them help somebody else. Let's continue to be a blessing to others. That's what God intended us to do, I believe. So, with all that said, man, I want to apologize to y'all. While I'm on the road, if there's a day or two where a video does not show up, it's because I have terrible service. I actually just got day 96 posted, I think sometime late yesterday evening. I recorded it 2 days ago, but I was in Tennessee and Kentucky again, and I never, I don't care where I'm at in Tennessee or Kentucky, those videos just, it takes forever for them to upload, like days. So I was like, I'm not going to record day 97 until day 96 finishes uploading to YouTube. So it finally uploaded, and I'm bringing y'all day 97 today. We're going to be reading 1 Samuel 7 through 9, and then we're going to flip over to Luke chapter 9 and read it about a third of the way. Yeah. I know I look a rough mess, but if y'all don't know by now, I don't care. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm not on here trying to look all pretty and all that. I'm me. I'm a real person. This is who I am. This is, you like me, you love me, or you don't. It don't really matter to me. What matters to me is that I make my Father in heaven proud. I got to be about my Father's business. This is what He told me to do, so I'm here to do it. I didn't even ever want to be on camera. This was not my idea. This was all Him, not me. So, if y'all are ready, let's turn to 1 Samuel chapter 7, and let's dive right in. I'll get a drink of coffee first. All right. So, the men of Kiriath-Jearim came to get the ark of the Lord. They took it to the hillside home of Abinadab and ordained Eleazar, his son, to be in charge of it. Mind you, everybody who, when they captured the ark of the Lord, bad things started happening. Everybody's like, man, get that thing out of here. You take that back to the Israelites where it belongs. We don't want no part of that. Their God is going to kill us all for having this. No, get rid of it. So it's now being moved. It's been given back to the Israelites. The Philistines returned the ark. They're like, man, come get this joker. Come get it. Our people are dying just by looking at it. Come get it. So they're just now, the Israelites are just getting the ark of the Lord back. And so now they're just trying to put it somewhere safe and make sure that it's only dealt with by ordained priests. So the ark remained in Kiriath-Jearim for a long time, 20 years in all. During that time, all Israelites mourned because it seemed the Lord had abandoned them. Then Samuel said to all the people of Israel, if you want to return to the Lord with all your hearts, get rid of your foreign gods and your images of Ashtoreth. Turn your hearts to the Lord and obey Him alone. Then He will rescue you from the Philistines. So the Israelites got rid of their images of Baal and Ashtoreth and worshipped only the Lord. Then Samuel told them, "Gather all of Israel to Mizpah, and I will pray to the Lord for you." So they gathered at Mizpah and, in a great ceremony, drew water from a well and poured it out before the Lord. They also went without food all day and confessed that they had sinned against the Lord. It was at Mizpah that Samuel became Israel's judge. When the Philistine rulers heard that Israel had gathered at Mizpah, they mobilized their army and advanced. The Israelites were badly frightened when they learned that the Philistines were approaching. "Don't stop pleading with the Lord our God to save us from the Philistines," they begged Samuel. So Samuel took a young lamb and offered it to the Lord as a whole burnt offering. He pleaded with the Lord to help Israel, and the Lord answered him. Just as Samuel was sacrificing the burnt offering, the Philistines arrived to attack Israel. But the Lord spoke with a mighty voice of thunder from heaven that day, and the Philistines were thrown into such confusion that the Israelites defeated them. The men of Israel chased them from Mizpah to a place below Beth-kar, slaughtering them all along the way. Samuel then took a large stone and placed it between the towns of Mizpah and Jeshanah. However you pronounce it. It says down here that, as in Greek and Syriac versions, Hebrew reads Shen. Well, Shen would have been much easier to pronounce. Anyways, he named it Ebenezer, which means the stone of help. For he said, up to this point, the Lord has helped us. So the Philistines were subdued and didn't invade Israel again for some time. And throughout Samuel's lifetime, the Lord's powerful hand was raised against the Philistines. The Israelite villages near Ekron and Gath that the Philistines had captured were restored to Israel, along with the rest of the territory that the Philistines had taken. And there was peace between Israel and the Amorites in those days. Samuel continued as Israel's judge for the rest of his life. Each year he traveled around setting up his court, first at Bethel, then at Gilgal, and then at Mizpah. He judged the people of Israel at each of these places. Then he would return to his home at Ramah, and he would hear cases there too. And Samuel built an altar to the Lord at Ramah. Chapter 8. As Samuel grew old, he appointed his sons to be judges over Israel. Joel and Abijah, his oldest sons, held court in Beersheba. But they were not like their father, for they were greedy for money. They accepted bribes and perverted justice. Finally, all the elders of Israel met at Ramah to discuss the matter with Samuel. "Look," they told him, "you are now old, and your sons are not like you. Give us a king to judge us like all the other nations have." Samuel was displeased with their request and went to the Lord for guidance. "Do everything they say to you," the Lord replied, "for they are rejecting me, not you. They don't want me to be their king any longer. Ever since I brought them from Egypt, they have continually abandoned me and followed other gods. And now they're giving you the same treatment. Do as they ask, but solemnly warn them about the way a king will reign over them." So Samuel passed on the Lord's warning to the people who were asking him for a king. "This is how a king will reign over you," Samuel said. "The king will draft your sons and assign them to his chariots and his charioteers, making them run before his chariots. Some will be generals and captains in his army. Some will be forced to plow in his fields and harvest his crops. And some will make his weapons and chariot equipment. The king will take your daughters from you and force them to cook and bake and make perfumes for him. He will take away the best of your fields and vineyards and olive groves and give them to his own officials. He will take 1/10 of your grain and your grape harvest and distribute it among his officers and attendants. He will take your male and female slaves and demand the finest of your cattle and donkeys for his own use. He will demand 1/10 of your flocks, and you will be his slaves. When that day comes, you will beg for relief from this king you are demanding. But then the Lord will not help you." But the people refused to listen to Samuel's warning. "Even so, we still want a king," they said. "We want to be like the nations around us. our king will judge us and lead us into battle." So Samuel repeated to the Lord what the people had said, and the Lord replied, "Do as they say, and give them a king." Then Samuel agreed and sent the people home. Chapter 9. There was a wealthy, influential man named Kish from the tribe of Benjamin. He was the son of Abiel, son of Zeror, son of Bechorath, son of Aphia, whatever, of the tribe of Benjamin. His son Saul was the most handsome man in Israel, head and shoulders taller than anyone else in the land. One day Kish's donkeys strayed away, and he told Saul, "Take a servant with you and go look for the donkeys." So Saul took one of the servants and traveled through the hill country of Ephraim, the land of Shalisha and Shalim area, and the entire land of Benjamin, but they couldn't find the donkeys anywhere. Finally, they entered the region of Zuph, and Saul said to his servant, "Let's go home. By now my father will be more worried about us than the donkeys." But the servant said, "I've just thought of something. There's a man of God who lives here in this town. He is held in high honor by all the people because everything he says comes true. Let's go find him. Perhaps he can tell us which way to go." "But we don't have anything to offer him," Saul replied. "Even our food is gone, and we don't have a thing to give him." "Well," the servant said, "I have one small silver piece. We can at least offer it to the man of God and see what happens." In those days, if people wanted a message from God, they would say, "Let's go and ask a seer," for prophets used to be called seers. Okay. "All right," Saul agreed. "Let's try it." So they started into the town where the man of God lived. As they were climbing the hill to the town, they met some young women coming out to draw water. So Saul and his servant asked, "Is the seer here today?" "Yes," they replied. "Stay right on this road. He is at the town gates. He has just arrived to take part in a public sacrifice up at the place of worship. Hurry and catch him before he goes up there to eat. The guests won't begin eating until he arrives to bless the food." So they entered the town, and as they passed through the gates, Samuel was coming out toward them to go up to the place of worship. Now the Lord had told Samuel the previous day, "About this time tomorrow I will send you a man from the land of Benjamin. Anoint him to be leader of my people Israel. He will rescue them from the Philistines, for I have looked down on my people in mercy and have heard their cry." When Samuel saw Saul, the Lord said, "That's the man I told you about. He will rule my people." Just then Saul approached Samuel at the gateway and asked, "Can you please tell me where the seer's house is?" "I am the seer," Samuel replied. "Go up to the place of worship ahead of me. We will eat there together, and in the morning I'll tell you what you want to know and send you on your way. And don't worry about those donkeys that were lost 3 days ago, for they have been found. And I'm here to tell you that you and your family are the focus of all Israel's hopes." Saul replied, "But I'm only from the tribe of Benjamin, the smallest tribe in Israel. And my family is the least important of all the families of that tribe. Why are you talking like this to me?" Man, because he chooses the least of us. Those of us that are like, we see ourselves as so unimportant. You know, like, we don't give ourselves credit. Well, some of us, a lot of us, I don't give myself credit. I came from a lowly family. Why did God choose me to be this messenger right here? You know, why did God choose me to have this YouTube channel? Who am I? You know, like, there's nothing extra special about me. I'm a regular person. I'm a truck driver. I'm, you know, but I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God. And I believe that God chooses people just like me, just like you. Those that, like, I don't think, I'm not up here. I'm not elevating myself above anything. I'm not better than anybody else. Trust I'm not. But when God qualifies you, who can go against God? I certainly couldn't qualify myself. I mean, y'all see me. I be reading, struggling over some of these words. Like, but whatever. God told me to do this, so I'm going to do it. Anyway, so I can relate to Saul in this area. He said, but I'm only from the tribe of Benjamin, the smallest tribe of Israel. And my family is the least important of all the families of that tribe. Why are you talking to me like this? Like, what are you saying? Like, I'm a nobody. Yeah. How is my family the focus of all Israel's hopes? Like, I'm like the lowliest, you know? Anyways. Then Samuel brought Saul and his servant into the hall and placed them at the head of the table, honoring them above the 30 special guests. Samuel then instructed the cook to bring Saul the finest cut of meat, the piece that had been set aside for the guest of honor. So the cook brought in the meat and placed it before Saul. Go ahead and eat it, Samuel said. I was saving it for you even before I invited these others. So Saul ate with Samuel that day. When they came down from the place of worship and returned to town, Samuel took Saul up to the roof of the house and prepared a bed for him there. At daybreak the next morning, Samuel called to Saul, "Get up! It's time you were on your way." So Saul got ready, and he and Samuel left the house together. When they reached the edge of town, Samuel told Saul to send his servant on ahead. After the servant was gone, Samuel said, "Stay here, for I have received a special message for you from God." And I can't wait to finish reading this tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. That's all for today on there. But y'all, like, don't second guess the calling on your life. You don't gotta be no biblical scholar to have a calling on your life. Like, just because everybody else might not see you doesn't mean God doesn't see you. You know, like, he takes the ones that are unseen. He takes the ones that are lost, and he picks them up, and you know why? Because we're moldable. You know what I'm saying? Like, the potter molds the clay. He takes those of us who have never put ourselves up on a pedestal. Those of us who are like, you know, I can't do that. I'm not qualified for that. I'll never be in that place. He takes those of us who, just like me, I'm sure a lot of y'all are the same way. Like, who am I that God would use me? But he takes us and he molds us and he shapes us and he does things with us. And then he gets us to this point where he's like, okay, now step into your calling. Now step into it. Because I have this calling on your life. See, I never would have done this. Like, and I don't even know that this is, I just know God told me to read the Bible on YouTube. And that's what I'm doing. I don't know that this is my calling. I just know this is what God told me to do. I'm just trying to walk in obedience. Maybe this is a part of him molding me, shaping me into the next thing. Whatever that is. I know I'm not looking for a place on a pedestal. I just want to put the word of God out there. My goal is just to glorify God in this. And so, if he qualified me, then I'm qualified. I'm not a theologian. I can't pronounce half the words in the Bible, but I'm a real person doing the real thing God told me to do. So don't second guess yourself. If God tells you to do something, just trust that if he told you to do it, it's got to be right. So just do it. Anyways, I can't wait to pick back up on that story tomorrow. But for now, let's flip over to Luke chapter 9. And we pick up on verse 18. Chapter 9, verse 18. We're going to read down to 36. So if y'all are ready, here we go. Luke chapter 9, verse 18. One day, Jesus left the crowds to pray alone. Only his disciples were with him, and he asked them, "Who do people say I am?" "Well," they replied, "some say John the Baptist, some say Elijah, and others say you are one of the other ancient prophets risen from the dead." Then he asked them, "But who do you say I am?" Peter replied, "You are the Messiah, sent from God." So, I'm just going to read this little side note. Messiah, a Hebrew term meaning, or the Christ. Messiah, a Hebrew term, and Christ, a Greek term, both mean anointed one. So Messiah means anointed one. Okay? I just wanted to put that, Anyways. Jesus warned his disciples not to tell anyone who he was. The Son of Man must suffer many terrible things. He said, he will be rejected by the elders, the leading priests, and the teachers of religious law. He will be killed, but on the third day he will be raised from the dead. Then he said to the crowd, if any of you wants to be my follower, you must give up your own way. Take up your cross daily and follow me. If you try to hang on to your own life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world, but are yourself lost or destroyed? Let me repeat that. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world, but are yourself lost and destroyed? You can't take none of this with you when you go. And why would you want to? We don't need none of this stuff in heaven, You can't take none of this stuff with you when you go. So none of it really matters. What matters is, where are you going to live at in eternity? Are you going to have life everlasting where you can vast in the glory of our Lord and Savior, of God? Are you going to heaven? If you died today, would you go to heaven or hell? You're not going to benefit anything by gaining the world, by gaining followers, by worldly possessions. You can't take them with you. The only thing you can take with you when you go is your soul. That's it. So, if anyone is ashamed of me and my message, the Son of Man will be ashamed of that person when he returns in his glory and in the glory of the Father and the holy angels. I tell you the truth. Some standing here right now will not die before they see the kingdom of God. About 8 days later, Jesus took Peter, John, and James up on a mountain to pray. And as he was praying, the appearance of his face was transformed, and his clothes became dazzling white. Suddenly, two men, Moses and Elijah, appeared and began talking with Jesus. They were glorious to see, and they were speaking about his exodus from this world, which was about to be fulfilled in Jerusalem. Peter and the others had fallen asleep. When they woke up, they saw Jesus' glory and the two men standing with him. As Moses and Elijah were starting to leave, Peter, not even knowing what he was saying, blurted out, "Master, it's wonderful for us to be here. Let's make 3 shelters as memorials, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." But even as he was saying this, a cloud overshadowed them, and terror gripped them as the cloud covered them. Then a voice from the cloud said, "This is my son, my chosen one. Listen to him." When the voice finished, Jesus was there alone. They didn't tell anyone at that time what they had seen. Man, I would have been that would have been crazy. Anyways, I hope that today's study kept your attention. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I love the Bible. I love the stories in the Bible. I love the red letters. I love what's going on over in Samuel. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do 1 Samuel 10 through 12, and we'll finish off Luke chapter 9 tomorrow. If y'all are in the Quinlan area, tomorrow our church is having a celebration in honor of moving into our new facility. It's right next to Fix and Feed in Quinlan, and we would love to see y'all there. So y'all just remember that if you want to see a change, you have to be a change. We lead by example. We follow by design. If it's not a God thing, it's not a good thing. I pray you guys continue your day in blessings. And don't forget to love like Jesus. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.